Everyone loves chocolate. 3 million tons of it are consumed every year, half of it in Europe. But the success of chocolate has a dark side. While first world kids are enjoying the sweet taste, reality is rather different for Africa's children. According to a wide range of organizations, the chocolate industry is accused of covering up the trafficking of children and the use of child labor on the cocoa plantations. We have decided to investigate these allegations. But the truth can be dangerous. We will go undercover with hidden cameras and assumed identities. Is it true that young children work as slaves in the chocolate industry?
In 2008, the Church of the Brethren Annual Conference passed a resolution against slavery in the 21st century. Slavery in the 21st century? I was really surprised when that resolution was made. I didn't know it was still a problem. Perhaps you didn't either. Hello, I'm Brent Carlson. Welcome to Brethren Voices. That action in 2008 was the 10th time that the Church of the Brethren has passed anti-slavery resolutions. The other 9 were passed from 1782 to 1857, prior to this country's civil war to end slavery. The 2008 resolution made a commitment to educating ourselves and others about modern-day slavery. Danish journalist Miki Mistrati has shown us that young children are still being trafficked. Some as young as 7 years old are illegally sold to plantation owners in the Ivory Coast of Africa to work on cocoa plantations. Mr. Mistrati is a journalist from Denmark, and he has given Brethren Voices permission to show a documentary that he and Roberto Romero have produced. It's called The Dark Side of Chocolate. In 2001, Nestle and Hershey and some of the other largest chocolate producers in the world signed the Cocoa Protocol, which promised to work for the eradication of child labor in the cocoa industry by 2008. Hershey's Chocolate, maker of these tasty little Hershey miniatures, gets most of their cocoa from the Ivory Coast. Do these little miniatures give you a bitter taste? They might, after you see portions of the dark side of chocolate. We thank Miki Mistrati for providing us with permission to share this with you.
Our journey starts in Cologne, in Germany. Every year, the chocolate industry gathers to promote and sell their products. Chocolate that is primarily made of cocoa from cocoa pods. First, we want to find out where the cocoa is from.
The cocoa beans is from South America or Africa? Africa. Okay.
Elfenbeinküste.
Africa and South America.
Mostly from Ghana and
Ivory Coast?
Ivory Coast, yes.
Okay. Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast, yes.
The Ivory Coast is the world's largest cocoa producer. But rumors abound about child labor and the trafficking of children.
Where do you get the cocoa beans from?
The cocoa beans, they come from different regions in the world, but most of our cocoa beans, they come from Africa.
Okay.
Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana.
Do you know where the beans are coming from in Ivory Coast?
Yes.
You do too.
So we have that tracking system that really goes back. We work with the 3 most important chocolate manufacturers in Belgium, which is Barry Callebaut, Cargill, and Belcolade.
Because I've heard rumors about, child labor and trafficking. Do you know anything about that?
They have, I think you then ideally speak about that subject with the people from Barry Callebaut, for instance, because they make sure and that they have plans and they work together with the cooperatives in those regions where people are paid properly for their cocoa beans.
Okay.
The Swiss company Barry Callebaut is the largest supplier of cocoa mass for the industry. Most of their cocoa comes from the Ivory Coast.
How many people have you employees in, for instance, in Ivory Coast?
In Ivory Coast particular, I don't know it by heart. In general, we have almost 1,000 people working in origin countries.
Oh, that's a lot.
So out of the 7,500, almost 1,000 people are working in origin countries.
What about the rumors? I've heard about rumors about child labor and trafficking. Does it exist, the trafficking of kids in Ivory Coast?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know if these traffics exist, and if it exists, I presume that it is exceptional. I've been a few times now in those origin countries. These are things I haven't seen myself. But if it exists, yeah, okay, it's clear that it should be condemned, and this is, again, something which is absolutely unacceptable, of course.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
No one here seems to believe the rumors of child labor or trafficking. We decide to investigate further. We are going to West Africa. Our first stop is Mali. Children are said to be smuggled from Mali to the cocoa plantations on the Ivory Coast. This is trafficking. The trafficking of children should not actually be possible. The largest chocolate manufacturers signed an agreement in 2001. It's called the Haken-Engel Protocol. It states that child labor and the trafficking of children are prohibited in the cocoa industry after 2008. We have arrived in Mali, one of the world's poorest countries. A country with little or no export. The authorities deny that children are being trafficked. That's why we're working undercover and using hidden cameras. We have allied ourselves with a local helper. His name is Yushao Traore. He runs a private school and a small hospital for the poorest citizens.
In my neighborhood where I'm living, I'm experiencing this every day.
Yushao takes us to Sikasso in southern Mali.
Okay, so this is the bus station.
We're told that trafficking takes place from the bus station. This is the junction for all traffic to the Ivory Coast. Yushao says the children are bused to the border town of Zegwa, and from there they are smuggled across the border. We want to know more about the operation, so we go to the local union for the city's bus drivers.
How is it with the trafficking of children?
This is a dimension trafficking. A be dimension no bodongo do. Bon on ira ka bara belembe gar konna de maya. Santan fla, santan saba, santan nane. Musumanu santan kele santan fla.
Since 2003, Idrissa Kante has tried to stop trafficking of children. He has statistics of the children he has rescued from trafficking.
En 2006 là, ne dimiseni keme ani bisabane fla de identifier chemani bikonono ani wolonfla musomani bisaba anduru. 2007 là 140 bikonono chemani bikonono ni konono musomani binani anikele.
In 2008 and 2009, he rescued over 150 children. His list includes children aged 7, children from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. We visit the local head of the bus companies. Since he doesn't want to step forward, we use a hidden camera.
no taara se frontière la o b'o jigi o b'o fɛn dɔ ko moto taxi o b'o ta ka taa n'o ye tu kɔnɔna na o t'a jɔ ɲɛfɛ ka mobili kɔnɔ.
While we talk, a man suddenly turns up.
Okay, we just got a girl. Come, let's go.
The man has spotted a girl entering a bus with a female trafficker. Once we get to the bus, the woman has disappeared.
This is the girl, you know, that was they took out of the bus now.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Segu is a village 450 kilometers away from this bus station.
But why is she here?
Musoi, I am Mufe Kibita Musoro, Cote d'Ivoire.
According to Kibita was right.
Etunagla Kibita Warsoro.
The girl says she's 12, but Yushao thinks she's younger. She was promised work in Bouquet, an area with many cocoa plantations.
Isomo nyana fimbilawa. Mene sera kata sawarti bolo ube mufo.
Ube nkorofo.
Ni sera kata so sisanu warti bolo ube mufo.
Kwa fokone matawa nyina.
Itara yema. Ubebe mwoka ki neni ki bugo. Dobi kuntige. Ode beno. Ubone ya kapo kubita wado. Tuwada umare. Ubita be san chama ke baraka fuso.
The girl is now handed over to social services, who will bring her back home.
The situation today is very, very sad to me, and it's heartbreaking. But this is not the first time, you know. My life is full of this kind of situation. This is why, you know, I really feel very, very bad and cry.
Now we're heading to Zegwa, but we'll make a stop along the way. A village with 500 residents. Several children have disappeared from here after being lured away by traffickers.
How many children has left your village to go to the Ivory Coast? How old are the children when they leave?
We drive on to Zegwa, a small border town only a few kilometers from the Ivory Coast. Our cover story is that we work for an aid organization. We're going to meet a local restaurant owner who is witness to child smuggling here.
Is the trafficking going on from here every day?
Don't really take a judo, so don't go do more better than more. Don't go do. So no ni carry jignadron, tell me que c'est rapide, ou bien jigidro sotra muto be mo tata. But ebina join et domrate ebina join le wole, ka fokino obse ka kuma. Tante parce que ou ba bege ils ont peur aussi police kana nous froye. Ou ba jigidron ou better menaye.
The restaurant owner contacts a trafficker who transports children on his motorbike. An hour later, the trafficker arrives. We promise not to mention his name.
Mimi trafficker. Bon, trafficker ni frontière la ete se kafa ko karsal be trafficker. Parce que dowa ke alebe na bla, dowa la alebe na bla. Bon, table kelen thala quoi. Dans frontière la ni ko iba foko karsate trafficker ke galantike. Bon, souvent, on dit no sranaugne, au bout du cadama, en fanant bota to blanc. Au banca, j'ai ton dame.
Trafficking is said to take place from the city's bus station. Normally, this guarded crossing is used. According to the restaurant owner, this back road is used for illegal transport. It leads directly to the Ivory Coast. We go back and wait for the next bus. A few hours later, a bus arrives from Sikasso.
What about the boys?
In the chaos around the bus, the children walk away. The traffickers chase after them and surround them on their motorbikes. They will transport them across the border. We follow the traffickers via the unofficial back road. Shortly after, we find a boy who was smuggled across by a trafficker.
Pourquoi tu pleures? Hein? Hein? Ali et Johnny. Hein? Ah. Ah. Ode? Ika mundedo. Amara. Ivory, Malia. Amara. Dia ngalo fora. Munobe.
Soon the boy will be transported further south. We leave Pogo in the northern part of the Ivory Coast, an area controlled by local militias who cooperate with the traffickers.
I think we should drive.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The town's inhabitants begin to talk about us. Researching the cocoa industry can be dangerous. On April 16, 2004, French-Canadian journalist Guy-André Kiefer was kidnapped in a parking lot on the Ivory Coast. He was doing a story about bribery and the laundering of cocoa money in the Ivorian government. He has never been found, and the case is still unsolved. We say goodbye to Yushao Traoré and send our new helpers undercover in the Ivory Coast. Their job is to visit cocoa plantations and see if children work there. While they're going over land, we fly to the cocoa capital of Abidjan in the south. Abidjan houses the head offices of the largest chocolate manufacturers. Here we find Nestlé, Cargill, ADM, and Barry Callebaut, who all have their head offices here with several hundred employees. 42% of the world's cocoa production come from the Ivory Coast. Together, these companies buy almost the entire production. We are meeting the third largest cocoa exporter, Saf Cacao. They export to the US and Europe. They make a profit of more than 135 million euros a year. These cocoa sacks have arrived from a halfway station in the area. The cocoa will later be delivered to Nestlé, among others.
Tout d'abord, il faut que vous sachiez une chose. Moi, personnellement, je suis né dans le cacao. Et j'ai jamais trouvé un enfant de 10 ans ou de 15 ans ou de 16 ans ou bien de 13 ans travailler dans une plantation. Il n'y a pas d'enfants dans les plantations.
Our undercover researchers have reached a cocoa plantation in the north of the Ivory Coast. They see several children. Some carry machetes for harvesting the cocoa pods.
Je peux rassurer le monde entier, c'est pas seulement l'Amérique ou l'Europe, qu'aujourd'hui la Côte d'Ivoire est un pays où il n'y a pas des enfants esclaves dans les plantations, il n'y a pas des enfants qui travaillent dans les plantations. On a vérifié, on a mis des comités en place pour suivre et jusqu'à aujourd'hui, on n'a pas eu un seul rapport qui nous dit qu'il y a des enfants esclaves. Et même dans les frontières.
So you don't think that the children from Mali and Burkina Faso are being trafficked to the Ivory Coast to work in the cocoa plantation?
Non. Nous sommes premiers producteurs de cacao. Et si on n'achète plus le cacao, vous savez un peu c'est quel désastre ça va créer au monde. Donc aujourd'hui, il ne faut pas jouer avec ces mots-là. Je pense qu'on a les preuves, ils peuvent venir voir. Il n'y a pas des enfants esclaves dans les plantations.
Ali Lakis is one of the world's largest cocoa exporters. He sells cocoa to Nestlé, among others. He is adamant there is neither trafficking nor child labor in the Ivory Coast. We head back to Abidjan. Our research has raised interest at the highest Ivorian government levels. We're invited to meet the man officially in charge of the fight against child trafficking. He is the president's right-hand man and has asked for a meeting because he has heard about our investigation.
I went to the northern part of Ivory Coast, the borders up next to Sigua. The traffickers just, take the children and go through the back road.
But honestly, between you and me, okay, the cocoa crop, starts in October and finish in March. So if you see people coming in July, September, October, it's not for cocoa. There's no cocoa around, so it's not a work in the cocoa farms. What is it about? I mean, there's people here, Côte d'Ivoire, it's like, for those countries, when they're on vacation, they come, there's what we say in French, colonie de vacances. They're coming in Côte d'Ivoire to have, Côte d'Ivoire is like, we are foreign. We want to go to France, we want to go to United States to spend, for vacation, okay? They're coming for vacation. But you see a bus with 20 kids, they're going to work in a farm. But in September, in July, August, September, what they're gonna do? There's no thing to do.
What about in April?
In April, that's different.
Yeah, but I saw it in April, actually.
In April, that's the only thing, that's the one thing we stop in April. People they will try to do it. But what you have to understand is that even if people try to do it, there is the law against, we've got the law, trafficking, child labor, everything. It's against Ivory Coast law. It's against. Yeah.
We decide to visit the plantations ourselves to see if it's true that no children are working here. We choose a random plantation in the area where Saf Cacao gets its cocoa. We come across 4 little boys and a man. They all come from Burkina Faso. They don't seem to be on vacation. The plantation worker says the children are aged 10 to 12. None of the children goes to school or can speak the local language. According to international labor laws, this is illegal. We continue our search on other plantations. There are plenty of children here. We meet more plantation workers.
Oui, tout pays, c'est fini?
Ouais.
Ah, ok. Donc, vous êtes les boîtiers maintenant?
Ouais.
Ah, vous reprenez le travail à quelle heure?
Hein?
Le travail, ça va recommencer à quelle heure? À 3 heures. Okay. C'est les enfants de qui? Il a voyagé. Ah, ok. Ça va?
Ça va.
Donc, vous tous travaillez dans le cacao là, mais actuellement c'est le repos, c'est ça?
Ah.
Vous avez fini de récolter?
Okay.
The two adult workers seem suspicious of us.
Merci, hein?
We meet a plantation owner. He's from the neighboring country, Burkina Faso.
Demande si on veut avoir des enfants pour venir travailler dans notre plantation ici, qu'est-ce qu'on doit faire?
Comment? Aller terre. Il faut qu'on ait des boissons qu'on a. Même qu'à crabber, qu'on va me refaire comme ça, qu'à faire. Il va se faire aller là. Mais il y a quoi faire.
C'est combien? Si on doit faire venir quelqu'un là, au Burkina venir travailler, combien?
Les où ça les balles, wabi ça va.
A child from Burkina Faso can be bought for €230. And that's without haggling. The price includes transport and indefinite use of the child. Most children never get paid. Sometimes children manage to flee the plantations. We meet two boys from Mali. They've worked as slaves on a plantation on the Ivory Coast.
Did you want to go to work in the cocoa plantation?
Ni bana kiti baraka drogi bugo. So ni smala talife. Wiki bugo.
Ankunga chakungo kono dole nana bol. Otugoro no kobo mini. Anto fene ambola. Anga keshi kungo kono. Ana shi dole ga kako foro kono. Ale fene nana e ka nyini nga tugo fafe. Fene ando mobli kono ka ambla kono.
The use of child labor in the cocoa industry is prevalent. This is in spite of the international chocolate manufacturers in 2001 having signed a protocol to the contrary.
The 2008 resolution against slavery passed by the annual conference of the Church of the Brethren recommends that we need to change our personal lifestyle and our personal habits when it supports slavery. We urge you to write the CEO of Hershey Chocolate, David J. West, of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Let him know that you love chocolate and you want to give chocolate to your family and friends that was produced responsibly and legally without the use of child labor, forced labor, slavery, or human trafficking. Send your cards or letters to David J. West at the Hershey Chocolate Company, 100 Crystal A Drive, Hershey, Pennsylvania, 17033. And check out the website, www.raisethebarhershey.org. I love chocolate, but I don't think so. Better to write a letter. This is Brent Carlson wishing you peace.